The Vikings, big gutsy win yesterday against the Seahawks. I think the big sequences of the game came down to these moments for Minnesota. Before the half, they're tied at 7, and this is how a penalty can kill you. And for Seattle, you might look back at this sequence and say, hey, this is what did it. But they get a sack, and they're going to force the Vikings to kick a field goal. It should be 10-7. Instead, you end up down 14-7 because the drive gets extended because Trey Brown is offsides. He's like lined up in the neutral zone bad, which is not something you typically see guys removed from the ball doing. Ironically, usually you say, hey, nose tackle, the ball's right there, but you see a lot more of it up front than outside. This guy's way offsides. And then the next play, basically, they leave him inexplicably one-on-one with Justin Jefferson. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And then the very next possession where, you find yourself down now a touchdown, Geno throws a pick, and off they go. And I think the other moment for me was Sam Darnold needing a touchdown in Seattle, where it was feeling like Seattle at home. Like that felt like Seattle in the second half. Felt like that stadium came alive. The defense was playing lights out on third down. Those guys competed their asses off on third down against a very good group. And Sam needs a touchdown late in the game and having to go the length of the field, climb in the pocket to hit Justin Jefferson on a rolled up ankle, on a bad knee, whatever it was. And here's the craziest part about this moment for me, which was a narrative shedding moment. As much as a moment could be a narrative shedding moment. He didn't play great last week. Everybody's waiting for the bottom to fall out with this guy. And with the game on the line, Kevin O'Connell, the best coordinator coach in the league right now, in my opinion, offensively, can't even get the play in. The comms go out.
Wild.
Comms go out.
Crazy.
Darnold hears the formation. That's it. They're playing backyard ball. And, we would call it on defense, check whoop ass. He checks Justin Jefferson. Safety's a little late. And we went through here, and it looks like cover 2.
Yep.
To me, if I'm playing cover 2, I understand it's 3-by-1, and you're worried about something coming from the other side, and you're probably worrying about the post from Naylor and that sort of thing, but that safety needs to be just way over here.
You've got to know
asterisk.
Justin Jefferson.
It's 3 by Justin Jefferson.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's different.
That's 3 by JJ.
That's why you have a safety over the top there. But no, Chris, I'm giving my game ball to Justin Jefferson, man. I don't know how he's continued. He's so good every single week, man. Despite getting that safety over the top, double coverage. I think he had 2 touchdowns, 150 yards or something like that. And he was.
And the gritty is just always immaculate. It's always immaculate. He even got a penalty on one and a warning. And I think that's funny to think that realistically, he could score touchdowns on people and he could do the gritty. And you can get kicked out of an NFL game for doing the gritty because he got one penalty and it was a warning. And it was like, if he gets another one for doing this, he's out the game. And that's kind of mind blowing to think. It's kind of crazy.
Here's the best quote from possible coach of the year, Kevin O'Connell. We've got to be smart about the direction at which we gritty, I guess.
The broadcast.
Exactly.
They got flagged for grittying at somebody.
Witherspoon. The broadcast is
Witherspoon.
The broadcast is like, he did the gritty at Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible 2024.
And then they they referenced the Key and Peele skit. It was like maybe it was too many pumps kind of thing.
Yeah. The third pump is too much.
Somebody said this in the chat, Jake Thornton. I like Darnold, but I think the system is part of it. Darnold wouldn't be as good with that. Wouldn't be as good with that OC that isn't as good as with an OC that isn't as good as KOC. I agree with you, but that's kind of how this league works. If you haven't noticed,
yep.
Yeah.
Like except for a couple guys. How did Josh Allen look at time, who in my opinion right now is the best quarterback on the planet? How did he look at times with Ken Dorsey? Not like he looks now. Mahomes has always had Reed. Mm-hmm. Burrow's going on this generational run with a coach that I'm just not even sure about, but like obviously something's working. Most of these quarterbacks are variable depending on where they are playing and who they're playing under. Baker Mayfield, perfect example. He's had a million coordinators. He's had a very variable experience in the NFL. I would consider him a top 10 guy. You know what I mean? Most guys are not immune to this. How did Jalen look at times with the guy they had last year? How did he look
Brian
with
Johnson,
Shane? Yeah. How did he? It just depends, man. It just depends. And I think Sam Darnold, it sucks for him because he started his career a certain way. Our confirmation bias is so strong. If he started his career with Kevin O'Connell and looked like this, we'd be like, oh, he's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we'd say because he's young and he looks great. We are stuck on the first look we had at a guy. And the truth is always somewhere in between. And I think, having KOC helps a lot, obviously. But not every quarterback is going to be able to lead this team to 11-2 or whatever they are. Or not 11-2 at this point. They're fucking what? 13 and whatever it is. So
13-2, yeah.
13-2. So gutsy win for them. Want to shout out Van Ginkel. He had some big plays in double-digit club now. He's a premier rusher in the NFL.
The leading was how much did the leading?
13.5.
13.5.
Yeah.
Him and Grenard both have 11.
He's a perfect example, and that's a great duo. He's a perfect, Grenard's more of a pure rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Van Ginkel's a great football player.
Bucket.
You know, his buckets are not all going to come with jaw-dropping pass rush moves where you win and
just get there sometimes.
Sometimes he's adding, sometimes finishing the play in the pocket is a tough deal.
Mm-hmm.
And from where he comes, he has really good vision. And, he's just an all-around really good player. So shout out to Van Ginkel. And for the Vikings, they're going to go into a game with Green Bay where they have a rest advantage and then the health advantage against Detroit. So